So I wanted to jump in and talk about some Armored Core. Fires of the Rubicon. I love the voice. And shout out to the YouTuber who provided this gameplay too, MK Fire and Ice. I want to get my own gameplay up here, but OBS wasn't working friendly with this for some reason. But anyway, so I want to talk about the game as a whole. Is the game good? Yes, it is. The graphics and everything are just fine. From Software doesn't really their games isn't really graphic powerhouses, but they do enough and they do a lot to make the game look good. I don't know if it increased from the first showing that everybody got to play, but the game looks good to me. Um, I'm playing it on PC. Uh, I don't have it on console. I wanted to get it on console, but I didn't, so I'm playing on PC. All right, so the controls. You feel like a mecha. You feel like you're piloting a mech. It's fine. Now, I will say, I'll give you one tip. Excuse me. I strongly suggest playing with B-type control because bosses in this game, they are hard. Okay, that's when the game does feels like Dark Souls when you're playing these bosses. They go into this stun state, and you do too. When they go into this stun state, you need to jam on all the text that you have, like no holds barred, don't hold back at all. So I strongly suggest type B because this is a setup, the default setup. You have L1 and R1 for the two arms, and then your backpacks, you have two of them there. You have on L2 and R2. Okay, boost. And this is on the PlayStation controller, is set to square and X. All right, you float with square, you quick dodge with X. On the Xbox controller, of course, you can see it's the same thing. Control B, it is the two arm buttons are still there, but you have your float boost on L2 and your quick boost on R2, zone of render style. I should strongly suggest doing that, because it puts the two shoulder weapons on triangle and circle. Now, you need that to me because even though these enemies go into stun state, you still will have to dodge, boost, and just move all over the place. Okay, sometimes they shoot fire is still coming down by the time they're stunned and you're trying to dodge that. So it's just best to kind of have it separated so you can do some fancy handwork like that. You need that going on. The lock on, there's a little power up that increases the lock on. I haven't gotten it yet. I mean, it's in your armor set. It supposedly increases your lock on and your arm rates and all that, but the base lock on is terrible. You're going to be constantly pressing this R3 button. Okay, it's going to feel like you broke lock on and you're going to be pressing it. You're going to be moving the camera and pressing it again. It's a little rough, man. So that's another reason why I strongly suggest this different control scheme too. And on PC, you can actually customize the controls. I don't know if that lock on break or that the way the enemies move is part of like what they wanted or an issue. But it does cause problems in a boss fight because even though they're very massive, when they move off screen, I mean, it's like, where are they at? It gets that hectic because most of the battles you're fighting upward. Nothing is really like on the ground. You're doing this. For real. One complaint that I have about it is the UI. I think the UI is too small, man. It's critical to know in some points of the game and when you're fighting different things, when you're going to reload, how much heat that you got. For instance, a Gatling gun. That thing had to do a little bit of editing there. But yeah, when you're shooting the Gatling guns and your other weapons that heat and everything, and you know that the enemy is going to go into stun state, it's kind of difficult with everything going on and the color scheme of the UI, which I don't know if it's changeable. It might be. I know that you can't like make it bigger or smaller or anything in the options menu, so I don't know if there's some things later on. I got a feeling it is now, and I'm thinking about it, because it would make sense, but maybe not. But as of right now, it is a problem. You can't tell when your weapons are, gonna heat and cool down and everything, because you need to be able to see that. But when you fight big enemies like this here, Other than that, man, I don't really have no problems with the game. I will say they get stunned too much. It feels like every other hit I'm getting like hit back and I'm stunned. It's like, how do I hit? Like what is going on? So you really got to pay attention to your stamina, but then the parts that you have on too, because it plays a major role in your mobility and taking hits and giving damage. Yeah. But here's the first boss, man. Let me see if he dies here. I know I died on it before I learned what to do. And it was to use that blade. It seemed like you should be doing this, right? It's like this is actually the wrong strategy for this thing. So there it is. There's that load, right? So now he's stunned. Now he should be up on him close, attacking. Like that. Yeah, you can also heal during the battles and everything. And you start off, the weapons that you start off with are kind of like lackluster, but if you go into like versus mode, I've seen some pretty cool weapons there. Seen this blade. I don't want to ruin the story, but I think it has something to do with the what's going on in the world. See that right there? It seems to happen a lot later on. Will he beat him? Oh, he missed the blade. See, when you miss that blade, man, and miss your weapons, you need to know when they're gonna get, when the cooldown is gonna come back. For a minute, I was like, when can I attack again? Oh, he's gonna get it. Boom. I want to go back and fight this thing now. I'm more powerful. Yeah, so let's pause it right there. So yeah, those are just some quick thoughts on the game so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. Can't wait to jump in even right now as I'm talking. I'm excited right now to get back in. I'm just now finding out about the core now. Um, yeah, I'm not even gonna say no more about it. But yeah, so just some quick tips. The game is difficult. There is a lower difficulty, if you will. I will just be playing on normal. But don't give up if you're losing. It does continuously get harder, but just keep it up. Make sure, like, when they go into that stun state, you just hammer the fire, right? And get your controls right. If you like the basic control scheme, cool, but I really think that B is better. And just pay attention to your weapons when they're getting heated, when they're getting overloaded, and don't get hit. don't just run in and think that you could just blast stuff. Another thing too is the AI will change according to what you're doing. How, I don't know how From Software does it, but they do it well. Um, if you're doing really well, you will get attacked by some different patterns. You will encounter different things. And that blade, with Baltius, I know for sure when I was missing, he was always shooting a rocket at me. So if you find yourself getting hit by the same stuff, try not to do your hard hitting stuff or the stuff that's going to slow you down until they're stunned. But anyway, those are just some of my quick tips. Again, I'm playing a game on PC with my controller hooked up to it. I prefer the PS5 controller over the Xbox. And control scheme B, and pay attention to your weapon. And happy hunting. This is 621. Fires the Rubicon. Peace.
Get in there!